I'll be going now, Harry.
Professor? Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
Professor!
Shut up, Harry. So this literally goes into what I'm about to say, right? Oh, am I recording? My audio. Okay. This goes to what I'm about to say is you see how he said upload a YouTube video. Um you see how he say, Professor, is this real? Or is it all in his head? And the professor says, of course it's in your head, Harry. Why should that mean it's any less real? Let's what he say?
That it's not real. It's happening inside.
Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
That goes to my point. What I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all for months, but no one want to fucking listen to me. And that we're all imaginary people. None of us are real, but because we're not real, we're real because we're all imaginary. Everybody and everything is an imaginary friend. So therefore, just like Billy in the show Agatha All Along, when he created the Witch's Road, it didn't exist before him. And I know I talked about this in another video. Even though it didn't exist before him, or it didn't exist until him, just because it didn't exist till him doesn't mean it's not real. It's real now because somebody imagined it so. That goes with your dreams, anything you want to do. It's not real until you put in the actions to make it real, right? And just because it's not in the form that you can conceive it doesn't mean it's not real at the same time. So just because the Witch's Road wasn't made until Billy Kaplan from Agatha All Along created it until he dreamed it so, imagined it so, doesn't mean it didn't exist in another form. Hello? You see what I'm saying? It's all convoluted because it's all imaginary. None of it is real, so that's why it's real, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Just because the just because some people want to say, and this goes back into like the gods and like stories, right? Just because some people say, oh, the gods weren't real, they were just figments of what people, though the figments of people's imagination because they needed something to explain nature. And then you got some people say, oh, the gods are real, but not the way you think. They're just extraterrestrials, or the gods weren't really gods. They were just spirits or forces. Or some people will say the gods are real and they are what they say in the stories. And then some people might say, if you're like me, what if all the stories are real? What if the gods were spirits? What if the gods were extraterrestrials? What if the gods were actually real in the way we see them? What if also the gods played every story? Because when I'm talking about the people that say the gods weren't gods, they were extraterrestrials. So we can call ourselves gods, but they can't be gods. That makes no absolute sense. That makes no absolute sense. So what are you talking about? If we're gods, they will be gods too. We would be the lesser gods, the new gods, technically. They would be the old gods or the ancient ones or the primordial ones, etc. Do you understand that? Whoa, I just had a thought. Y'all know how we're born human, right? This is a side note. Y'all know how we're born human, right? So we're human. If human overall is the youngest species, one of the youngest species, right? If humans are one of the youngest species, and then you have beings that are born in higher realms, would that technically make them our elders? Would that make them our ancient ones? What if you had a newborn being? Let's say you had a new celestial dragon. It was a baby egg. And then you had a human who's been living on Earth for, let's say, 10,000 years. Technically, that celestial dragon baby egg is our ancient one. What? What are you talking about? That's crazy. I know, but that's how it works. Especially because time doesn't work the same way. I think. So therefore, technically, they're at all points. So they're definitely, you know what I'm saying, our ancient ancestors. Mm. And that also goes into the fact that everything is made up. Time is so illusionary that it don't even it breaks itself. It writes its own jokes because they don't make no sense. But that also goes back into stories. The stories all are if they're made up, it's automatically real. It doesn't matter, y'all. You can use the same story and come up with different masks. You can use the same story and come up with 10 different, will come up with infinite amount of narratives, and they all will still be real. They will all be equally real. I'm starting to understand that. That, well, I'm starting to understand it more in my body, right? Because I never liked how people talked about the gods, or like, I never liked how people will only, and this applies to everybody, right? I never liked how we always have to find, oh, this is the absolute story. Oh no, this story is the absolute truth. No, this is the absolute truth. No, this is the absolute truth. What if they're all the absolute truth? If we're all imaginary, and imagination holds and contains all colors, holds and projects all colors, all truths, all masks, all stories, all dreams, all beings, then why in the hell couldn't everything equally be true, even if it's made up? I mean, a lot of people are living in their own delusions and illusions anyway. To them, it's real. You can literally become so cognitive dissonant in your delusions and illusions that you absolutely will not see what you don't want to see. That doesn't mean it's any less real to them. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not. And because they don't see it and it's not real to them, doesn't mean it's any less real to you, because we are all the same being wearing separate different masks. So why? And that's like saying my origin story is not true because you never experienced it, or you don't have the analytical, logical, groundbreaking research to physically prove that my story didn't exist. How do I know that? What if you're lying about you grew up in a home, your family was extremely abusive, you were poor, and a lot of times you had to end up on the street. But in reality, you just emotionally felt that. What if your family was actually wealthy, well off, they cared for you, but in your mind, you just wasn't the perfect match for that family. You felt like an outcast in that family. You feel like they were overbearing. You feel like they did too much, and you felt maybe emotionally abandoned in your own way. Both narratives are true. Both of those stories would be true. You could be lying, but who am I to say that your story is wrong? You know what I'm saying? Even if that's how you felt, it's how you felt. And if that's how you view your story, it's how you view your story. I mean, I can say, you know what? I mean, if I can disagree all I want, but it's irrelevant. When you really sit back and look at it, it's like there's nothing to disagree with. You can be like, all you really can say is, oh, okay. So what do you want to do with that now? It's really all you can say. You can't judge them. You can't say, "Oh, you're just a liar. You're just a liar. You're just a fraud. You're just a phony. You just don't want to be so bad. You want to be cool so bad." But no, what if that's their authentic truth? What if that's literally how they felt? Of course, sometimes people can just, of course, be wannabes. But I'm saying, who are you to say, even if them being a wannabe, what if that's their story? There's a truth in there, though. Is there not a truth in that? A truth in their story? So who are you to judge if something is real or not? How can we really say something is real? when it's all convoluted and made up anyway. Isn't it crazy? Like these stories don't even make sense. They don't matter. But they do to you, to us, to me, to we, to all of us. Because stories shape narrative, right? Stories shape the myth. The myth shapes the narrative. The narrative shapes the dream, right? You're the dream. You're the narrative. You're the myth. You're the story. You are that. Everything from the top on to the void to Mommy Hakate source on down. We are all imaginary. Imaginary. We are all imagined. We are all made up. We are all make pretend. We are all playing make believe. So what's really real? Realness is really subjective. And I think I'm learning that because I also had a dream about. If you ever watched the show The Magicians, there was this being that came in my dreams. They were playing the archetype of Allison, and I was the archetype of Penny because they told me something, and I was like, "Yeah, I know," but they was like, "Well, do you know?" And they told me two things that like I don't know if this happened in another life or what, or if they just made it up to get me to see something. Either way, it worked, and either way, they're to me both narratives can be true, and I'm starting to sit with that more actually because I've been trying to decipher this dream for the past like 2 days, and usually how I decipher dreams is I just let it flow through me. I think about it, and I just let it flow through me. I'll talk about it out loud for a little bit, and then I'll go on with my day, and then I'll think about it, and then sometimes I'll actually just sit. Sometimes I'll do it first when I wake up. So it just depends. But sometimes this one, this is what I did for the past 2 days. I've been just letting it flow through me, and I'm thinking that's what it's trying to tell me because after I said yeah I know, and they were like, well, do you know? And it showed me, and it was telling me, do you know about the time? Do you know about the time you tried to summon the raptor beast? They either said raptor or riptor. My dyslexia throws me off because I think they were saying riptor, but I kept wanting to say raptor. Doesn't really matter. But it was like this dinosaur beast. It was like they were like, "Don't you remember? Well, do you remember the time you tried to summon the raptor beast?" But it only comes to children who has an imagination. And then the other part was, and do you also know about the time you tried to summon a level 100 boss, but you couldn't, and then you turned over your bed. You were sad, and you turned over in your bed. They were literally telling me a story, a narrative, a myth. They were telling me all of that, and it didn't matter because it's all valid, it's all real. And that's crazy. I'm gonna sit with this more after this video. I still haven't sat with Paragon. But anyways, yeah. I gotta sit with it more after this video because that dream was actually crazy. And it showed me as a kid wishing for the raptor beast to come. And then the other part, I was fighting this person and they punched me in the face. Cause I tried to, well, they was about to attack one of my imaginary beasts, but I hopped in the way like Ash Ketchum does Pikachu, bitch. And I got punched in the face, but my beast ended up running the guy off. And then right before that, with me and all five of my beasts, we posed. It was weird. But also going back to the astral plane, if anything you make up can be real on the astral plane, then how is that any less more real than any other plane? If the higher you go up, the more lucid you become, then doesn't that mean we're in a lucid dream period? We're in a dream period, and dream logic doesn't make sense because it comes from imagination. imaginary magic. It's magic. It isn't real. That's what Yennefer said in The Witcher season 1 to this one woman, and that stuck with me ever since. The live action Witcher movie. I don't know if she said that in the books, but probably because if the shows went off the books, then yeah, she probably said that in the books too, and in the show. So yeah, but it's magic. It isn't real, and that's why I was always turned on by stage magicians because that's magic, y'all. It isn't real. That's the point. So that's why it's real. It's magic. It's supposed to make you go ooh ah zara. But it also doesn't have to because it's magic. It's whatever you suggest. Stage magic is, I would say, mid to low form illusion magic. But if you want to be technical, illusion magic is the only magic that exists. Oh my god, I gotta start wielding that. I haven't been doing my magic because I'm really trying to figure out the best way to do it. Because I don't wanna go at my magic the same way I've been going at it. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. But I've also been thinking about this dream because I think this dream about my imaginary friends might help that. Because also I had this dream where like I was trying to strengthen my etheric body, and I was watching this YouTuber. He told you, I talked about this in another video too, in an older video. But in this video, he talked about how to, if you feel stuck in your etheric body, um, then you can chant the words of God, and then it'll raise your vibration. That way, you can be in your astral body or something like that. And or no, chant sacred prayers. And I remember I did that night, but it didn't work, y'all. When I said chant, sorry, when I said the sacred prayers or like the holy prayers or whatever, the prayers of God, it didn't work for me. So, you know what I did? It was almost instinct. It was instinct. Where, okay, it's not working. So, because when your etheric body, when your etheric body isn't strong enough, it is very dense. So that's why when you go into the astral plane, or technically the etheric plane, you can't move or can't see because that body is not strong enough. So he was saying you can use those names of God to help raise your etheric body's energy so it can move. So I tried that and it didn't work. So two things I did. I summoned Master Hand from Super Smash Bros. To help pull me up. So they started levitating me up so I could start feeling more light. But then I was able to levitate up, but I still wasn't moving. I still felt like I was in bondage. So I shouted the name Phoenix. Like, if you ever seen the Marvel comics or TV shows or games of the X-Men, there's a character called Jean Grey, my number one favorite character archetype of all time. A character called Jean Grey. And she is also known as the Phoenix Force. And in a lot of her comics or shows or TVs, when she has the Phoenix, she always shouts, Phoenix! So those two things, and when I said that, the chains, the pressure completely broke off, and I was able to move. And that's real to me, right? Those sacred names of God are actual names of God, right? But they didn't work for me because they had no power. Because what you can imagine, what you can conceive, you can bring it forth and bring it to life. Myth Wizard School 101, right? So because the sacred names of God wasn't my story, wasn't my myth, wasn't my legend, wasn't my narrative, it had no effect on me. But that doesn't mean it wasn't real. It just wasn't real to me. So I applied what was real to me. And the realness is subjective. Master Hand and the Phoenix is real to me. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, they're all real to me. I can't I can't hide this anymore. I never not believed in the tooth fairy. Even once I realized that it was your parents doing it, my love for the tooth fairy, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny still remained. They never left. They still existed to me. And that also goes back into my dream where I was talking about where Allison from the magicians was telling me, do you remember when you tried to summon the Riptor Beast? Do you remember when you tried to summon this level 100 boss? I think those are my imaginary beasts, y'all, in those dreams that they were talking about. But no, I meant to say this in another video. I remember I started talking about it in my last video, but I don't think my video about evilness and goodness, but I don't think I ever finished the thought. I just had the thought about Power Rangers Wild Force, right? No, I think I did say it in that video. Okay, so but I didn't say this part. Okay, so we all know when we watch TV, everybody's acting, right? We know that the actors are acting, and we know that when we watch it on TV, yeah, they're actors, but now they're actually characters. The actors don't exist anymore. Now they're the characters in the show, right? And we all know that it's planned. But there was this comment on TikTok because I was on TikTok a while ago. This was like a few months ago, I think. Yeah, like a few months ago. No, it was a few months ago. But I was really deeply into Wild Force Power Rangers. Which I've been watching Power Rangers again. Well, I've always been watching Power Rangers, but they did something to the Power Rangers. Like if you go to the Power Rangers playlist, you can't because usually when I watch TV, I'll be putting things in a play next, play next, play next. I don't want to watch the entire season of Power Rangers. I just want to watch certain episodes. The three little dots, like you have over here to put them in the play next, it don't have it no more. You have to click on the entire playlist or else you can't watch it. That's annoying. So yeah, I have to start watching that again though because I stopped because of that. They just started doing that. I'm like, ugh, so inconvenient. But it and like the shows are kind of messing up too. But there was this comment on TikTok and in under the video, and the video on TikTok was the Wild Force Power Rangers on set, right? And they were showing. I gotta go back, but like they were showing how they like. I guess how they were taking, they were showing the transition scenes essentially, right? And they were showing how the Power Rangers completely have to stand still, cut, and then they have to stand still and don't move at all. And then the guy comes over and moves like the crystal or like the phone or whatever. I think it was the crystal. He moves the phone and then replaced the crystal back in Cole's hand. It was something like that. And it was like, all right, action. And then somebody in the comments says, now my childhood is ruined. Sad face. Like, how did that ruin your childhood? We all consensually knew that these were actors. At the same time, we knew that when we were watching the show. To me, Soul Star, Soul Winter Star, Winter Raven, Raven Winter, me Soul Star, talking to y'all. To me, the reason why I didn't lose that magic or that nostalgia or that love for Power Rangers Wild Force is because maybe because I am a trickster archetype, but maybe because I'm just crazy. Oh, he looks sexy. Sorry. Maybe I'm just crazy, but to me, hold on. But to me, I didn't lose any of that magic. But
Yeah, so real quick, I had to. There's gonna be this part, another part that I'm gonna have to cut out and interject myself. But what I was saying in this part was I didn't lose my magic because for me, both are equally valid. Seeing how things work behind the scenes while also seeing how they work when it's played out on the scene is equally poetic, equally mythic, equally valid, and equally profound and equally magical to me, right? There is to me, literally, what I'm saying is there is no difference. It adds more to the story if I know behind the scenes of how they do stuff versus if I just know one or the other. Just imagine just knowing behind the scenes and nothing else and never experiencing it. Just imagine just experiencing it and never knowing behind the scenes. That literally Y'all, this applies to your creation story. We're on Earth. We can see the stars, we can make poems, stories, myth, and legends. But then on higher realms, we get to see how those actually work, how they function. We get to see how the stars were created, right? We get to see what makes stars so mystical and magical. You get to see the behind the scenes, and y'all don't act like they didn't do that in every Disney Channel show. A lot of movies, or movies in general, movies still do this, but a lot of TV shows back then, especially on Disney Channel, at the ending credits, we will always have the bloopers. But that didn't stop you watching Dr. Raven the next episode, did it? No, it did not. So what was the issue? Is what I'm saying. How can you see behind the scene? Like, I don't understand, where's the line drawn to where, like, oh, it's not mystical. It's my nostalgia's ruined. Oh, my childhood's ruined. Oh, it's not magical no more. How? When the same show that you watch has a laugh track in it. What are you talking about? The same show that you watch has a laugh track in it. Does that make it any less of a great show? Does it make those characters any less real to you? Does it make the characters any less valid, y'all? I can watch Full Life of Zack and Cody every day and know it's a laugh track there, and not even and not even be like, oh my god, this universe is not real, it's fake. Oh my god, y'all, this is all theater. It's convoluted. It's simultaneously real and not. Duh. Like, did you not get the program? Did you not get the memo? Like, how'd you even get here? If you couldn't understand that simple, basic universal law, who brought you here? What's the script? What's your script? Because I think you're in the wrong theater, sweetie. I think you're just in the wrong theater. I think that's what the issue is. You was misdirected. I'm putting Vaseline on my lips. But yeah, then the next scene I'm about to talk about, and the next scene that I'm about to show, is about Gaius. If you ever watched the show, The Adventures of Merlin, the clip I'm about to talk about, the character I'm about to talk about is from that show. Y'all should go watch it. The show's on Tubi. I don't know for how long, but it's on Tubi. Um, yeah, Gaius. There's a scene where Gaius, he gets thrown against the wall, but you can tell it's a stunt double because I was like, "Hey, no way in hell they finna this, and no way in hell this old individual finna get slung." The character got slung against the wall. They're not finna do that. Cause who finna pay for a lawsuit? Nobody. But you can also tell, which how you can really tell is because of the hairstyle, which I'm about to explain. Because the guy's hair in that scene was straight and crispy and fried, and then just done. Right? It was dead. But the stunt double had beautiful, luscious, curly, bouncy locks. I was like, y'all like really, like y'all stop playing in my face. But that didn't me realizing like, oh, that's a yeah. They better put an actor in there because ain't nobody got time to be slinging up this old man against the wall. You ain't finna do that. But that didn't stop me from enjoying the actual show and being invested in the characters. Those characters are real, y'all, just as much as the actors playing the characters are real. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my point. But yeah, I'm done talking to y'all dumb bitches. No, I'm sorry.
Ugh, guys be looking kind of scary though. But this is guys is win. Um, in this episode, it was episode 5, I think, or episode 4 of season 1, where this evil sorcerer, where this dark sorcerer was turning him, was trying to get guys' fire, right? I can't find it, but yeah, he was trying to get and but this one, pervert, and yeah, but this must be in the later seasons because the episodes that I've been watching, guy's hair isn't that curly nor that silky, but and it's a lighter blonde. Where is season 1? Where is it? But there it is. Haha. I thought I was lying. No, season 1. This is how his hair looks, right? And like I said, I'm thinking the other ones must be later seasons. He must have got a perm or something like that, or like you know what I'm saying. He must got like a little silk press. But this looked like they used a hot comb. His hair was nappy. They just used a hot comb, and nope. no oil, no nothing. So it was just crispy flat. And the guy, the evil guy, threw him against the wall. But the stunt double had, I called it, what did I say? A silky press. I said they had some silky wave press hair where their hair was super silky, but it had like a cute little wave to it. And it was thicker, bouncier, and longer, and it was actually golden. I was like, yeah, because they knew if they threw this old man into that pillar, he would be dead or have terrible back problems. Because he got flung. Like the stunt double flung into the fucking pillar. I was like, yeah, because I was intrigued to see. 'Cause, it's just as I like to break the fourth wall and just see like, now did they really use the actor, or they use a stunt double? Because bitch, you're not finna throw me to a wall, but I throw myself into a wall sometimes because it's fun. But I'm like, it's just funny because I'm like, nah, he ain't finna do all that because y'all know better. But but even me saying that, that didn't change the fact that I still see these characters as mythical people who exist in the real world. These people are real to me. The characters exist and they're real. Even after I watch a show, I still think about. Sometimes I put myself in the show, or I'll think about, okay, but like, why would so and so do this, knowing like you're so stupid, and I would have done this, or like you could have done this, but like, why would you do that? Then sometimes I put myself in their shoes. I'm like, okay, I get it, but girl, no, I'm gonna slap you up because why would you do that? You know? And what if that's how life is? What if that's how creation is, the dream is, from top to the bottom? Because that's what imagination is. What if, in reality, it was always meant to be like that? It was always like that, period, right? What if? Isn't that crazy? And this is why I say everything's convoluted because you don't descend. Humans aren't below, right? We're not, because like I said before, it's like a magnifying glass when you put a sunlight on an ant, right? It's like that. But what if it's not only like that? What if we're not actually going down? What if humans aren't at the bottom? We're just we are just oh my god. What if we are just more inward? Because the void, right? Truest imagination, the void, the first dreamer, the first dream. What if when they created Source and Hakate and etc., they didn't just they didn't create down or even outward. They created more inward because not just as above so below, but as within so without. What if you are the above and the below inside of the within and without? Because if we all came from the void, there is no anywhere. I mean, but there's everywhere at the same time. What if humans are inward? What if we're so dense because we are the most inward, rawest, hardest truth? How am I trying to say this? What if creation didn't create down, it created inward? Because how can we create our own stories? How can we know who we are and what we are? How can we create our own myths? How can we actually move within the dream if we don't go within? If we don't know who we are, if we don't know, they tell you to unlock every ability, what do you have to do? You have to be calm in mind, body, spirit, and emotions. You have to be um meditate. And meditate is going inward. You don't go outward when you meditate, right? And every teaching tells you meditation. Ooh, excuse me. That was actually really good. I felt really good. Um, what if they were telling you, oh yeah, they always tell you go in, go in, go in, right? For you to cultivate your powers, your magic, you have to be able to. to get into like a trance state or get into a certain state of your being, and your being isn't outside of you, it's inside of you. We are constantly like the not Rubik's Cube, but what's that cube they had in Adventure Time? I think they call it the third dimensional cube. Yeah, we're like a fourth dimensional cube inside Adventure Time, where Finn had he was smart in this episode and he created a fourth dimensional cube, and the cube just kept going inward and outward, inward and outward. Let's see if I can find a video.
Yeah, Choose Goose. I need magic. Some kind of mind enhancing magic.
Ah, yes.
Talk about multi-dimensional bubbles. But I'm not just going to talk about blowing bubbles. I'm going to blow your minds. This is a bubble blower of my own design. With this, you can blow bubbles in different dimensions. This two-dimensional bubble casts a one-dimensional shadow. A three-dimensional bubble casts a two-dimensional shadow. A fourth-dimensional bubble casts a three-dimensional shadow. It is beyond comprehension! Beyond space! Beyond time!
Finn, that would mean you've created...
Yes! A black hole!
Finn is fucking psychotic in that episode. But all I keep hearing but yeah, as y'all saw, it just kept eating on itself, eating on itself, eating on itself. And then it created a black hole. What's a black hole? The void. Right? The void that consumes all colors, that contains all colors, right? That projects all colors. And
What I was, oh my god, my mic. What I was saying in that scene was, you can tell, you can see what I'm explaining is that just like how Finn created a black hole, right? And I was referring that to imagination, aka the void, right? How when you are creating and creating and creating, you're just you're feeding upon yourself, you're feeding upon yourself, you're feeding upon yourself. But there's nowhere to go. There's no up or down. There's only in and out, y'all. So for you to create, you have to go within to pull it out, right? And when you create, the out becomes within, because not only is it a manifestation of your inward it's the external creation is a manifestation of your inward creation, right? But then your external creation does the exact same thing. It manifests from the inside out first and just keep repeating itself, and then while it's doing that, it's feeding true imagination, the void. It's feeding its origin point, it's feeding its source, because it's creating, and then that creation is creating, then that creation is creating, but it's all happening inside the void, not above it, not below it, right? Which I call true imagination. So that's what I was explaining in this scene. As y'all can hear, there's lag. Like I said, the computer needs some work done to it. But also during this time, I had my computer up for like in sleep mode for like 4 days straight. So when I do that, the computer lags a lot. When I play like a high resolution video, or just any video, to be honest, girl. But with sound, if I play it with sound, it does that. If no sound, I'm fine. But we're learning, girl. I don't know. Yeah, I hope you understand. Hope you understand that. Oh, and I was saying, like, because the void, not only it consumes all colors, it is all colors, right? So it's just constantly feeding upon itself and feeding and feeding. So yeah, I just want to say that.
but you don't weave outward, you call within. Every story tells the hero to call within. to call within their magic, right? I hope this. Sorry, y'all, I'm scared because I don't want my audio being cut out. So we're just gonna cut this. Probably because I got too much going on. Oh, it's out. Um, it's published. Disability public. Okay. I change myself the video, y'all. Go watch part one and part two is out now. Good videos, cute little videos about magical journey. There was some more stuff that actually happened that I forgot to talk about, but you get most of it. You'll probably just hear more of that as you keep watching my page. Um, yeah, look at that, my little magical journey. So yeah, like, who's to say? Why do we have to lose the magic in all of it? Why does it have to be this story or this story, this story? What if all of it is the story? That's the whole point of the story. The story has many stories within the stories, within the stories, within the stories, within the stories, within the stories. Everything has a story. It all started with a story, with a dream, right? So, what if it's all real and what if it's all magical? What if the Easter Bunny is real? So, what if it's just a symbol? So, what if it's just to tell you a narrative, give you a narrative, and tell you a story, a certain story? So, and what if it's real? What if it's all of that? You know? How crazy is that? How fucking crazy is that? I don't know. It's just something I'm sitting with, y'all. It's spooky out here. It's brutal out here. Okay? Olivia Rodriguez. So, I'm starting to understand that. Because made up is the realest thing possible. And what if humans are the most made up thing in imagination? Where we went so like, oh yeah, they tell the heroes to go within to find their powers. The heroes have to go on a journey. They may go on an external journey, but it's to find themselves, to find who they are on the inside, to understand the wisdom on the inside. Because we always say, listen to the hidden. The hidden will guide you. Listen to your intuition. It's not outside you, right? Trust your intuition, instincts, right? It's in. Okay, like imagination. Like, how crazy is that? It's all made up inside you. So, what if it's all true? Are you really going to cease to exist? Really? Are you? No, you're not. I'm gonna tell you the absolute truth, bitch. But no, for real. I hope y'all understand that. Yeah. So we're all imaginary friends. We're all imaginary. We're all imagined. We're all made up. We're all made of dream stuff anyway. Dream logic. So it really doesn't matter. Okay? So every story is true. They all equally hold magic. Equally. You don't have to forsake the magic of this story because you don't believe in the gods. You don't have to forsake the magic of this story because you don't believe in Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to forsake the magic of this story because you don't believe a chimera exists. Who said that? Just like in the Polar Express, the parents celebrated Christmas, and Christmas is a magical holiday. But the parents couldn't see the magic. They couldn't hear the magic bell at the end of the movie, but the kids could. You see what I'm saying? But equally is true, right? To the kids, that's all true. The magic of it all. Not just the physical stuff, but the magic of it all is true. Santa Claus, the elves, the train, the magical train. Trains are some of my most favorite mythical creatures. I love it because sometimes I hear a train go past my house and it makes me happy. I have to stop everything and just listen because it's beautiful. Because of that, I started sleeping to the sounds of trains. I used to hear trains before I go to bed, um, as I was dozing off, actually. And this is before I started listening to trains in my sleep. Well, listening to trains on TV. But, yeah. Zebras are also one of my favorite mythical creatures ever. If we don't talk about zebras or magical trains enough at all, or trains enough at all. But zebras, I think, I'm sorry, but zebras are weird. There is no such animal that should look like that. That you can't convince me. You put zebra in the jungle with a bunch. You put the zebra with a bunch of animals. It just stands out, and it will always stand out. Kind of like a giraffe, but not as much. Giraffes stand out for a different way. I don't really don't. I see giraffes as normal, but they are weird too. They're the zebra's weird cousin, but they're more acceptable. The zebra is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, you just saw in SpongeBob how the damn zebra and the gorilla were in cahoots. Well, how y'all underwater anyway? Oh, they're on us. Yeah, we're on you, freak. I'll never let that go. Get out of here. I hate that gorilla. That fucking gorilla. And the damn zebra. It was actually scary. Especially the zebra was scary. But anyway, yeah, it's a little side note. Got upset. But, girl, who's to say it's not real? Like I said, the Polar Express. We shouldn't forsake somebody else's magic because you don't believe in the gods. So what? So what? And what are you gonna do about it? You gonna kill me? You gonna torture me now? What would be your rational response to that? The gods aren't real. Well, I believe in them. Oh, well, you're crazy. You're stupid. Oh my god. Why are you responding with hate and judgment? My physical body, my mental body, my emotional, magical body is all in harmony. I'm not out here hurting anyone. I'm not hurting myself. I'm not disturbing anybody's peace. I'm not disturbing my peace. I'm not doing anything that's warranting any actual problems. Right? So why would you go out of your way to judge me and say negative and hateful and evil and hurtful things to me? Y'all gotta question that. See what I'm saying? Like if I said the Easter Bunny is real, and I believe in the Easter Bunny, there's nothing you can say about that other than, oh, okay, cool. Even if you don't believe in it, and if you tell me, well, I don't believe in the Easter Bunny, okay, that's cool. I respect and honor that because I don't care. Because your beliefs don't affect mine. Like what? Oh, if you say, oh, well, I don't believe in brushing my teeth at night, so now I gotta listen to you. Well, you're right. You know, I shouldn't believe that either, right? Like, what? That wouldn't make any sense, y'all. Oh, I don't believe in um combing your hair. Also, now I gotta believe that too. Oh, I don't believe in people dancing. I don't believe in holidays. So what? I gotta believe in that too. It's all made up. It's all imaginary anyway. At the end of the day, even if people say the moon is a satellite and it's a base for other beings, even if it is, so you can't deny that the moon has been used for as long as it has, and it's helped people. And I've even seen magic with the moon. So, does it matter? Right? As long as it works for you, that's literally all that it matters. Just because somebody can learn drunken martial arts and become a master at it doesn't mean you can, or doesn't mean that it's for you. But that doesn't mean that drunken martial arts is any less effective. You just might not be able to use it because that's just not you. Doesn't make it any less or more real. You know what I mean? Some people use drunken martial arts. Some people use kickboxing. Some people rather be an archer, right? They use range attacks. Uh, Using range attacks, melee attacks, or a combination doesn't mean that you aren't fighting for real. Because when people say, I want a real fight, they're talking about just fist to fist. But who's to say a real fight for somebody isn't casting spells? Who's to say a real fight for somebody isn't using what they got at their disposal to defend themselves? What if a real fight for somebody is using bow and arrows like an archer, like a ranged archer fighter? See what I'm saying? What if a real fight is somebody using their words and just talking you down? Or y'all debating? What if that's a real fight? See what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really just something to think about. For me too, obviously, right? I'm gonna sit with this, but I hope I said what I need to say. But it's all beautiful. It's all narrative. It's all story. It's all a play. It's all drama. It's all one big fat imaginary dream. And humans are the realest dream because we are the most inward being. We're so much of a dream. We're real. We're so real. We're deep. We're deep. Oh my god, I made a mess in my bed. We're we're deep inside the void, inside the dreamer, inside the dream. I don't know. I'm just thinking, what if going down? What if you're going down? You're also going within. What if when the void, truest imagination, or if y'all want to say Hekate or a source, what if instead of just what if creating down, creating us and creating the beings from the top to the bottom, what if at the exact same time what if the exact same time they was creating down, they was creating inward? Because there is no such thing as down or up, right? Or even inward. But there is. If it's all made up and all imaginary, then all things would nullify itself but also be true at the same time. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think I'm done. I think I'm good now. I think we're good. I think we're good. Um, of course, an hour fucking video. Oh, just love to talk, bitch. No, I swear when I talk, time just moves super fast. I try to make a 10-minute video, y'all. It don't ever work. I literally recorded Recess, a reaction video to Recess, a 10-minute video that turned to 37 fucking minutes. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know if I gotta talk less or like, just imagine an hour. Y'all, I struggle. I have to make that 2 parts. But because it's like I got something to say every time and the characters are just so stupid. But yeah. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.